Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to The Charging, Volume 12, for our late start on Wednesday, November 14th. Friday, November 2nd marked the end of the first quarter. Pretty amazing to think that we are one quarter already through our school year. Obviously, a lot of work efforts have been done since thinking back to August, but pretty amazing to think that we're this far into the school year already. When things go so quickly, or at times maybe so slowly, it's always important to stop, refocus, review what we've done, reconnect with one another, and re-engage in our process. I think sometimes in all of our lives or in what we do in education, we go fast, keep going, and never really stop to think and pause and reflect as to what's all been going on, what's been working, what hasn't been. And so we want to take some time on our late start on Wednesday to do these things, to refocus, to review, to reconnect, and to re-engage. So our learning targets for our late start, we're going to do the first one in the screencast here is to just refocus and review on the purpose and goals of our professional learning program that we've been using. We want to, on Wednesday, take opportunities to reconnect with one another and our work, and then continue our efforts in our year-long development on GFL as a staff. So one of those learning targets was to review and refocus on our professional learning efforts. Why do we make the charging? Why are we doing what we're doing? We've said it before, but it's always important to circle back to this, to talk about it, to remind all of us and as to why. It's our belief that we have lots of work to do. Because of that, we owe it to each other to make sure that the time that we have together is utilized as best as possible. And so all of what we're trying to do is to do that, is to amplify and take advantage of each other and the time that we have together, which is far too limited. And so that's the first part of why we're doing what we're doing as a reminder. The second one, specific to this year and last year's work, is we believe that we're all better as a staff and as individual professionals the more engaged and, for a lot of us, getting ahead or a jump start on our grading for learning process. For some of you who are going through the initial or full implementation, you're deep into GFL at this point. But for most of us, we haven't started. And so it's our belief that we want everyone at North to have a preview on, to get used to, have conversations around all of the elements of GFL, so that when you and or your course goes through this process, you've got an advantage. You've had an opportunity to have some initial learning before you go through that process with others. So again, just a reminder for all of us as to why we're doing what we're doing. The second learning target for Wednesday is to reconnect. We know how valuable having time to work with your colleagues, to collaborate, is to all of us. And so we want to provide, again, some PLC meeting time for everyone to do that work, because that's really important work. And we've got to do everything we can to create as much time as we can for all of us to do that. Additionally, we as building leaders want to have an opportunity to connect and reconnect with all of you related to some of this work that we've done with GFL. The previous school year, we implemented some grading fixes. This year, we implemented more. We want to stop and talk around how's that going, what's going well, and what's going not as well, and what can we do to improve those things. So we want to hear from all of you. So that's our learning target number 2. And the last one is to re-engage in our GFL work. People who are going through the implementation process are experiencing Canvas. For the rest of us, if you didn't go to a session at the Staff University, you don't really know what this is. And so we've decided, again, in this effort to try to get a jump start for our staff in grading for learning, is we're going to hold a brief introduction session to Canvas led by Cassie Olson. Specifically, we've been using Google Classroom for our professional learning. We believe that getting all of us into Canvas earlier on will help all of us in the end. And so we're going to transition our professional learning platform from Google Classroom to Canvas. So Cassie wants to introduce you into the learning management system and get a little feel for what that looks like. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Here's the lesson plan for our Wednesday late start. We're going to be working in PLC groups, and basically we have set up 4 stations where you're going to rotate through as a PLC group. The rotation looks like this. So what I would encourage you to do is when I'm done explaining it, I would pause it so you know where you are and what you're going to be doing. So you'll see the 4 groups are listed down here on the left by department, and then you'll see the 4 stations across here on the top, and the times when you're at whatever station. So where you see the green is where your group, your PLC is going to be starting, and then you're going to rotate through based on these time frames. With PLC time, you guys as a department or as a small group can decide what you want to do and where you want to meet. Obviously, there's a tremendous amount of items that your PLC can work on, and we're giving you the professional latitude to figure out what is best for your group, what you need right now. So thank you for watching the charging. We hope that Wednesday will be a great time to review, reconnect, re-engage in our work together. We look forward to Wednesday morning. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.